A tweet Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX, liked has helped a Chennai based startup designing and manufacturing drones to get a $1 million funding. We come to you from Agni Engineering College, which has been the home ground, the incubation center for that startup. And with me, Mr. Agnishwar, the founder and the CEO of Garuda Aerospace. Agni, thank you very much for your time. What was that kind of drone that Elon Musk liked very much?
Thank you so much, Sam. It's quite phenomenal that Elon Musk, one of the most influential entrepreneurs around today, actually took notice to the Surya drone, which is an advanced drone designed for the solar industry. Basically, what it does is it uses only 100 ml of water per panel to clean and to make sure that the dust settlement on the solar panels do not accumulate, thereby curbing the efficiency. Today, the industry uses about 4 liters of water, and that's quite erroneous for places where there is huge amounts of water scarcity. So, what we've done is disrupted the entire industry, and it is taken notice at the highest level.
And what does this mean? How will it help you? Are you going to scale it up now?
Definitely, I think drones have immense potential, and that has been quite evident in the last year. Garuda Aerospace has amassed over 400 government contracts and have been serving the biggest of industries, including the likes of Adani, Reliance, Vedanta, ITC, and such. And most of these industries have been forced to adopt automation technology, especially during the COVID times, because of course manpower is issue, but now people have started to realize how drones can disrupt multi-billion-dollar industries, and it is more efficient, saves a lot of expenses, and it's very easy to learn as well, as you can see.
In the coming years, what are the areas and applications in which drones do you think could be game changers?
I think one of the biggest areas where drones can disrupt in a gigantic way is the agricultural sector market. A couple of weeks ago, the new civil aviation minister has announced new set of draft rules which significantly eases how things were in the drone industry. And when you talk about precision agricultural farming, India desperately needs a lot of advanced techniques, and namely what we have designed is a very advanced agricultural drone which focuses on spraying pesticides and fertilizers, and that helps the farmers because we are faster, more efficient. We use less pesticides by 80% and less water by 90%, and we create 200 to 300 rupees worth of value add for the farmers compared to their manual spraying methodologies. And if you see those manual sprayers, they have resulted in severe adverse health complications for the farmers because of the constant chemical exposure. We are saving all of those things. So apart from the agricultural space, if you look into the inspection space, the safety aspects, a lot of mapping, project monitoring, surveillance, several unique applications of drones are cropping up every single day.
You already come from an accomplished business family who have established themselves in real estate and education. Do you still require funding like this through the startup model?
I think the misconception of funding usually is that they just lend money, because it's not all about just the money. It's about the connects, the advice, the guidance, the way you run the company, the nice integrative options that they give, and the connections that they give with other startups, which would help us in a very, very big way to quickly scale up our operations, as well as come up with innovative solutions quickly compared to spending 2 to 3 or 4 years in R&D and coming up with a solution. We have the ability now to connect with like-minded global entrepreneurs such as myself, and that's where these VCs and funding comes into the picture. It's not just the money that they lend. Of course, it's an important part, and any startup would require that. But like you said, more than the money aspect, Garuda Aerospace benefits from good, solid partnerships which come from people who resonate with the same thoughts.
And Elon Musk liking your tweet, how's it going to help you?
I mean, in a day and age where every single industry from entertainment to the latest iPhones, have influencers. And people gain a lot of market value. Like, I can give you an example of Bitcoin and Dogecoin, whose market value tremendously increased as soon as Elon Musk actually tweeted about them a couple of months ago. So very similar to that, you see, let's say, um, several entrepreneurs like Tata, or let's say Mr. Mahindra, tweeting about certain companies, and you see that a lot of fundraising companies, as well as venture capitalist funds and such, they rush to them, and they are interested in terms of what those successful people found interesting. I think Elon Musk liking our tweet is just a start. It just shows that we have something which is unique. But it's up to us now to, extend what we have initially. This could probably be just a flash in the pan, but to ensure that that is not just a spark of brilliance, and to showcase that we are consistently great, Garuda Aerospace must continue doing what we have always done for the last couple of years, which is to consistently innovate and provide affordable solutions to the market and better lives.
Amazon is attempting delivery by drones. Say the next 5-10 years, where do you think, what kind of new things do you think we'll see in India?
I think majority of the plants, industries, and the factories need project monitoring, which Garuda Aerospace offers. We're also into warehouse management and inspection and 2D and 3D mapping, railway monitoring, pipeline monitoring, and all of those aspects.
Where do you think your startup will be in the next 5 years?
We would transcend into becoming the first ever drone unicorn startup, which is a 10,000 crore valuation, kind of a status which most of the startups who are very serious about making it big have as a milestone. So I think Garuda Aerospace is firmly set on the path, and the major contributor towards that goal is going to be the agricultural drone that we are market leaders with. We are partnered with a global precision agricultural company called as Axen, which is incubated out of MIT, and they designed the world's most efficient sprayers, which is 50% more efficient than any of the sprayers that are currently available in the market. And with that, we signed an exclusivity agreement. So this would mean that we would disrupt the entire agricultural industry by using drones to spray pesticides and fertilizers. And this would also mean that in about 4 to 5 years' time, a lot of these farmers will be trained, and we'll create a huge an employment boom in the rural areas, while at the same time creating a green revolution, which I always wanted to ever since I was a little kid. So India desperately needs support in the agricultural sector, and I think precision agricultural technology like the agri drone is going to play a vital role in that.
Do you think, just like cars, in course of time we'll have drones carrying people in the sky?
Definitely. I think drone taxis, drone ambulance, drones that deliver food and shopping goods and such is definitely the future. The Indian government is in the process of drafting the rules for that, and urban air mobility is going to be the future for sure. It's already seen early stage trials in the Middle East as well as in the US and such. So in a country like India, I think the possibilities are very interesting. And Garuda Aerospace is definitely very interested, and we've already designed a few prototypes of our drone taxis as well as delivery drones. In fact, we're part of one of the consortiums that has been granted certain permissions to try out beyond visual line of sight operations. So all in all, I think the drone industry per se in India has shown rapid growth and tremendous.
How big is it?
I think the drone industry as such in India would be a $3 billion market with about 1,000 companies roughly focused on providing drone-based solutions and selling drones and such. I think there are more than a lakh of drones that are currently in India, but the lack of indigenous drone manufacturers in the country has created quite a flutter. But at the same time, we also have amazing drone manufacturers in the country who have taken it upon themselves to make India the hub of drone manufacturing of the world, and I think we can definitely accomplish that in the next 4 to 5 years with a very progressive government and with the policies that they're making today. I don't see
Where
any
does India
hindrances.
stand in the international picture?
I think India has tremendous potential. We have the highest number of skilled labor, the largest youth population in the world, which is a huge advantage. And at the same time, we also have skilled labor available for very inexpensive rates. And after the COVID, I think most of the global superpowers have started identifying India as a manufacturing hub. And I genuinely feel that in the next decade, you would see a huge adoption of such automation technologies, drones, UAVs, because it is going to be the future.
Do these
And
players manufacture, design themselves, or do they buy from abroad and assemble?
there's a combination of both for sure. I mean, they don't buy out drones directly, they'll always buy parts and assemble them. But then again, you would need a huge number of drones which have been created by the market. Like, let's say 6 lakh Indian villages are available. And imagine if there are one drone a village just to make sure that spraying fertilizers and pesticides is
Is
being
this a
done.
good space for the concept of Make in India?
Of course. I mean, I genuinely feel that technology has to be affordable, and it should not have too much complexity and barriers to entry for us to actually start innovating, because we have some of the best minds in the country, and most of the times our limitations are into being too spread out and not being focused on one particular sector. And that is what we are trying to focus here at Garuda Aerospace, in focusing on a very few but lucrative areas and sectors, which I feel would definitely pay off in a big way in the next 4 to 5 years.
You run an engineering college, your startup is based out of your college. You seem to have the advantage of using your engineering students.
Definitely. I mean, if not for Agni College of Technology students, we would have never been able to deploy a large number of pilots when the requirement of drones came from across the country. I mean, we've serviced over 400 government clientele
During the pandemic?
During the pandemic, for a variety of purposes, for crowd monitoring, for issuing announcements through drones fit in loudspeakers, for sanitization purposes and such. And I'll have to thank them because they have made themselves available, and at the same time they have been willing to learn a new craft, which is to be a certified drone pilot. And yes, of course, it is a huge advantage because we have a campus of 22 acres in the heart of the
Has
city.
drone technology become a part of engineering curriculum?
Definitely. I mean, I genuinely feel that Industry 4.0 is the way of the future, and we must adopt automation, blockchain, data analytics, cloud computing, and all of the recent trends that are there. And I feel that engineering should never be based on what has happened in the past, and it should be towards what is going to happen in the future. And at Agni College of Technology, I think Garuda Aerospace is a stellar example of trying to understand what the client's needs in the present, and also anticipate what the industry will need in the future and design solutions accordingly. So
Any particular pet project you're working on?
I think ever since the rogue drone attack in Jammu and Kashmir, our team of engineers and the students of Agni College of Technology have been working on an anti-drone system. It is a multi-layer approach wherein we have 4 levels of protecting, let's say, a very important site. Let's say it could be an airport, it could be a base, it could be, let's say, the Parliament of India. We want to ensure that any form of a drone, be it a programmed drone or like a suicidal drone which just wants to come in and try and wreak havoc, is fully, like, we are prepared for it, and we are anticipating its every move. And we are disabling it at a very, very safe distance, about 1.5 to 2 kilometers away from when it can actually come in. And we intend to commandeer the flight controller of the drone to ensure that it does not um, come and intentionally crash into such places. I mean, it's still in a very rudimentary phase, but we feel that in a couple of months, maybe in a year's time, we would have a very strong working solutions. And we are partnered with some of the global giants in this pursuit, partners from Israel and the US as well, to develop this particular technology jointly. But yes, I mean, ultimately, what we're trying to solve is not an easy fix. It's not an easy solution. There are a lot of problem statements involved, but I'm sure we'll definitely find a solution for it.
One concern is that drones could lead to massive unemployment for.
It's a very tricky catch-22 situation. Yes, I must agree that drones will, and any form of automation will definitely look at probably replacing certain types of manual labor. But at the same time, these drones aren't also completely autonomous. You will still need qualified pilots. You will still need qualified engineers who will process the information that the drones collect, and you will also definitely need people who will program and design the next level of drones. So while a set of probably unskilled labor may be left without a job, it opens up a huge possibility of an array of skilled laborers in our country, especially in a country like India, where more than 50% of the population is under the age of 30, creates a huge opportunity for engineers and people who are into data science and analytics and such to definitely get employed with the kind of activities that we're doing using the drones today.
If Elon Musk is watching this, is there any message you would like to share?
Well, just I'm super grateful to Elon Musk for having liked our tweet and brought up a lot of attention to us. But at the same time, it is quite commendable that he's been doing a fascinating job, inspiring a lot of young entrepreneurs like myself, and his pursuit of wanting to explore space and trying to find another home for our inhabitants is quite remarkable, I would say. But at the same time, I feel that pursuits of trying to match Elon Musk in his space pursuits is not logical at the moment, because we feel that there is plenty of work that needs to be done in India and in this world to make it a better place. So I think Garuda Aerospace will focus on Earth before Mars or the Moon.
Thank you so much, Agnesha, for your time. Such a joy talking to you. And you're also a swimmer,
Yes,
world champion. I remember reporting on you in your school days. Do you get time to swim now?
Well, I still remember our interview, Mr. Daniel. Muhammad Ali had Harvard Cosell, who interviewed him throughout his career, and Agni is having Daniel to ensure that you're covering various stages of my life. I'm very grateful to you and thank you. Yes, I mean, swimming has been a part of my life, and a lot of people do identify me as a swimmer, but that was a chapter of my life, and now I've moved on from it, and I'm on to a very noble pursuit of trying to make the world better using technology. And I'm finding a lot of happiness, because back when I was a swimmer, I was swimming for myself, and it was an individual sport. But today, because of Garuda Aerospace, we have about 250 to 300 people working in our company, and we're impacting 40,000 farmers, and soon to be a lot more. So I feel that my time and effort and energy is being used a lot more for others than it was in maybe when you last interviewed me about 12 years ago, when I was a national and international swimming champion. But I'm super grateful for this journey, and hope we do our next interview and a lot more would have evolved.
Thank you so much, Agnesha, for your time, and we wish you all the best. We hope that you would take wings and break new grounds, and I'm sure you will be closely watched from now on, now that Mr. Elon Musk has identified you, impressed by your startup. Thank you very much. That was Agneshwar, the founder and CEO of Garuda Aerospace, talking to us in Chennai with Suresh, Sam Daniel, Find the TV.